The demo drive was great, conversation flowed, and then they pull back up in the dealership and say, okay, let's go in here and see if we can make the numbers work. The sales rep just took it off the value of the vehicle and experience, and they themselves pointed it back to the numbers. The numbers are never going to work. They're never going to be where somebody wants them to be, but they may be where somebody's comfortable with them. But that's not for us to make that the primary focus. Our focus should always be on value and experience. Price will always be important, always. But when value and the experience supersede price, price becomes just a little bit less relevant.
If I see one more salesperson walking through the parking lot, holding a panic button with customers going to show them a car, I think I'm going to throw up. I'm going to cover a couple of things real fast that I see that are really affecting people's ability to perform, and they blaming it on everything except for themselves. Number one, when a person shows up to your business and they're looking to buy or invest in a vehicle, make sure your attire is proper. Make sure you're greeting them the right way. You're welcoming them to their store rather than asking two of the silliest questions, which is, can I help you? Number one, that's what you're hired to do. You're asking a stranger, hey, can I do for you what this company is paying me to do? Which is nuts. I think that should really be thrown out of retail completely. Can I help you? That's what you're supposed to do. And then when we ask, guess what they say? Nope, I'm just looking. And then we say, oh my God, they're just tripping. No, we asked them a closed-in question and then didn't realize that the likely response will be no. Who walks into a place and just wants some sales rep hanging all over their back? But you asked them and gave them the option. Now, when you do anything outside of what they asked you to do, now you're seeming disrespectful. Now you're being overbearing. And this is where those negative feelings about salespeople come up, when in reality, we shot ourselves in the foot and said, nice shot, by asking, can I help you? You don't ask, can you help them? You go do it.
Thank you so much for checking out the video. If you haven't already, please hit that like button because it really helps the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscription and make sure that you click the notification bell so you'll be updated whenever I release new videos. And last but definitely not least, make sure that you check out the Selling for Success sales training portal. It has sales training courses, audios, videos, manuals, everything you need to catapult your sales results to a whole new level. So remember, check out sellingforsuccess.org, the sales training portal. I'm Brian Maxwell saying again, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you at the top.
That's what you're hired to do. Number two, we ask, how are you doing? Now, let me point this out to you. People will say, well, Brian, why is that a silly question? For you to ask somebody how they're doing that day, they have to take a mental trip through that previous night, through that morning, through that previous day to answer you. And guess what? If you were walking down the street and you said, hey, how you doing to somebody, and they stopped and said, whoo, I'm glad you asked. Well, my stomach been bothering me. I lost my hair when I was about 28, been dealing with some stress with this and been going through that. Would you look at them like they were crazy? And I ask this question at every training class I do. And resoundingly, everybody says, yeah, they will be crazy. And I say, are they crazy? Or is the person that asked them a question but didn't really want the response crazy? See, when we say how you doing to somebody, and if they actually stopped and responded, we would look at them like they're nuts. Why? Because we don't really care how they're doing. It's just one of those generic, we feel, beneficial generic questions, and it's not. Why would you ask somebody how they're doing if you're not willing to want to sit there and listen to them explain it? And then let's just say that they are having a negative morning or a negative day. Now you've just forced them to take 3 steps back because now they're in a more negative mood because they have to think about it. And everybody in sales knows our objective is to keep the person as positive as possible as we progress them through the process. The quadruple P's. So to say, how you doing? When you can just simplify and say, hey, welcome to ABC Dealership. I'm Brian and you are? Hey, listen, I really do appreciate you stopping by. You made an awesome choice. Are you here to see anybody in particular, or is this your first time here? Oh, really? It's your first time? Thank you. Really appreciate you giving us the opportunity. Now, which one of our vehicles would you like some information on? Okay, you like that one? Well, as you can see, we got several options out here available. So let's do this. Follow me inside. I'm just going to ask you a few quick questions, and I'll get you all the information that works best for you. That took me maybe, 20, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe? And the person will come inside with you. But when people are out there trying to qualify on the lot, when you got other cars out there driving by, you got other new vehicles out there that look just as good as the one you're showing. And guess what? They're right there by their vehicle. They can jump right in and leave. You don't have anything with you that'll help you. Every tool you need is on the inside of the store. So why try to handle your business out there? Don't. Get them inside. Your objective is to guide them inside and get them into the seat. Now, when people sit down to qualify, a lot of stores don't have information sheets for whatever reason. I don't know. I think they trust that their sales reps are just going to know the right questions and remember. Guess what? If you're a manager or a GM watching this, as I train thousands of people a year, they do not remember all the relevant questions. Now, you may have a few on your staff that are ones that are consistent, but the majority of them, they're not taking the time to learn that. So a guest sheet is important, but if your store doesn't have a guest sheet, why wouldn't you just take the most common questions that you know or information you know needs to be asked, type them up on a Microsoft Word document, leave some space for you to take notes, print you out some copies right there at your store and have them at your desk. So now instead of trying to figure out and remember the questions, you've got them. As opposed to getting up, going to the manager's desk and having to keep going back asking for information, you've got a sheet to help you remember all the relevant information. And relevant information is not just the vehicle information. Relevant information is vehicle information and personal information. I've literally had people tell me like, well, you know, Brian, I don't know if I want to get too personal and ask them personal questions. They're making a $20, $30, $40, $50,000 investment. You think these people don't want to be wild and want to know that who they're dealing with really cares or gives a damn about them? They do. And if they have kids, they want to share their kids' names with you and their ages. They want to tell you who their significant other is, but closed mouths don't get fed. So if you don't ask, they're not going to volunteer. And if you don't understand that part of the dynamic when it comes time for you to ask for the business, guess what? There's a chink in your armor because you didn't have all the information. People say ignorance is bliss. No, ignorance is death and brokenness. What you don't know can kill you and can hurt you. Trust. Okay? So now you qualify them personal informations. You want to use what's called a layered question. And a layered question is something like, are you looking for a new or pre-owned? Regardless of what they say, your next question to be, okay, is this for business or personal use? If they say for business, really awesome. What type of work you do? Let's just say they say for personal. Really? So it's your daily driver? Yeah, to and from your place of business? Yeah. Well, what type of work you do? Or if it's your daily driver, yeah, to and from your place of business? No, I'll use my other car for that. Oh, really? What type of work do you do? And then there's a sequence of them. I have tons of layer questions that are within the process that help you have a humanistic feel while also getting that vehicle information. Now it's time to present. I see people walk out with a customer trying to find the car. They know which one they're interested in, looked up the stock number, they get the keys. Now they're walking through the parking lot with the customer hitting the panic button. You know how annoying and unprofessional that is? When really, once they're sitting there, you can say, hey, folks, based on what y'all told me, I believe we have exactly what's going to work for you. But before I tell you about it, let me at least make sure it's still here. Get with my manager, make sure I've got all of you guys' concerns addressed. And if it is still here, I'm going to pull it up and we can go out and take a look at it. You go out. If it's hot, make sure the AC is on. If it's cold, make sure the heat is on. If somebody showed it the day before and left a McDonald's wrapper in there, get it out. If there's leaves on it, you can get them off. If there's no gas in it, you can take care of that. But walking out with a customer hitting the panic button when you have no idea what the stage looks like, if it's set up for you to present it in the best light, you're crazy. Now, if you've never been shown or taught that, that's one thing. But if you have and you just feel like that's too much work, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot. Nice shot. Sometimes taking a shortcut is actually the long route. Trust. And then on the demo drive, people ask salesy questions. Is this something you can see yourself owning or see in your driveway? Man, that's the shit they were saying to people when my grandfather was buying. There are ways that you can ask questions that generate the same exact effect, which is assumption of ownership. That's all those questions are for. Why not just ask the people, hey, listen, what's the first date night y'all gonna take in your new vehicle? Or what's the first vacation you and your family gonna take in your new ride? Or who's the first family member or friend you gonna show your new car to, your new truck to, your new SUV to? Now, for them to answer those questions, guess what? They have to see themselves in it and visiting that person in a nanosecond. That is still assumption of ownership, but it doesn't come off as salesy as this. Is this something you can see in your driveway? Is this something you want to drive home in today? Every time a customer hears the word buy in today, trust me, their defensive wall is going up. It's called pressure. Now, pressure does bust pipes, but the right amount of applied pressure can also create diamonds. Okay? So now you take him on the demo drive, you have a pre-planned route. All right turns, if you can help it, you get them back. And this is where sales reps really hurt themselves. The objective is to build value in the vehicle, in the experience with you. The sales rep has done great, good conversation, building with the person. The demo drive was great, conversation flowed, and then they pull back up in the dealership and say, okay, let's go in here and see if we can make the numbers work. The sales rep just took it off the value of the vehicle and experience, and they themselves pointed it back to the numbers. The numbers are never going to work. They're never going to be where somebody wants them to be, but they may be where somebody's comfortable with them. But that's not for us to make that the primary focus. Our focus should always be on value and experience. Price will always be important, always. But when value and the experience supersede price, price becomes just a little bit less relevant. And as the professional, why would I make it about price? Because when it comes down to price, I'm not going to win that game. So it's got to be based on value. And then next, Give them a tour of your dealership when you get back, because they're ready to go sit down and talk about them numbers. Their defensive wall is up. And if you use what's called a pattern interrupt, that's where you take a typical pattern and you do something different. The person said, whoa. So if you hold the door open for them, they'll start walking back to your desk thinking it's time to talk now. But say, hey, folks, wait a second. Follow me over here. Let me show you our service department where you'll bring your vehicle when it's time for you to get it serviced. Think about what I just said. It's all about them. Let me show you where you'll bring your vehicle when it's time for you to get it serviced. Take them over there. Hey, listen, we have a state-of-the-art bay where we work on the cars, as you can see. Right here is our service department. We do have a real nice Starbucks machine. We have a child play area. We also have shuttle services. We have free Wi-Fi. Show it to them. That builds value. Introduce them to an advisor. Hey, this is Sharon, one of the service advisors that'll be helping you guys out. As a matter of fact, I'll help you set up your first appointment so that way you don't have to worry about that. Introduce them. And then take them to sit down. Now, will that defensive wall be there? If it was 10 feet high, it may drop to 8 feet high. If it was 3 feet wide, it might be only 2 feet wide. Our objective is just to get our customers to lower their defensive wall low enough so we can peek over in their backyard and see what's going on. That's it. So this was just supposed to be a quick video, just jumping out here, man, just giving you some basics. And if these things resonated with you and made sense, this is nothing. This little 10-minute video, if you really want to get down to it, click the link in the description. Go over to Selling for Success. That's selling the number 4 at success. Check out the downloads I have. This is me just waking up, sharing some information with you. Okay? Imagine what I have within these downloads that are really they'll transform the way you perform. They'll change the way that you believe in your ability, and your results will be the proof of the pudding. So click the link in the description, click the link in the comments. Other than that, I'm Brian Maxwell telling y'all have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you at the dealership. Over and out.